Morning all, how are we doing? Morning Christian in ST. Still sounding like a stormtrooper. Steve, Amy, JC, Virginia, Alan Bay, Agosa, Dougal, Pip King, Pips, never use Pips, Pip King. Evil, Evans, Baggy, Johannes, Antonios, how are we doing? So, I just got back from the gym. So, haven't looked at anything yet this morning. It's always unorganized on a Thursday because I get back literally just before I start the stream. But before we start, let's do some thumbs. See if we can get those likes up. See if we can get 100 people again. Morning, Sarah. Morning, Steve. Wet hair day. It is wet hair day. I give myself Mohican. Yeah, look. Pretty good. I'll go with that. It's Mohican Thursday. Morning, Gregos. Right. So today is basically unemployment claims day. There's not a lot else happening today. It's one of those quiet ones today. So we have got no news events this morning that should affect the European Open. 1:30, an hour before New York, we've got unemployment claims. And then we've got talking heads this afternoon. We had talking heads yesterday afternoon, or yesterday evening rather, and it's pretty much the same sort of time. We got Barkin speaking again around about 6 o'clock. Then we got the 30-year bond auctions. We had the 10 years yesterday. We got quite a bit of volatility off the 10 years, but not a lot of massive amount of movement. We've got Bullock speaking later today as well, and then it's the unemployment rate for the CAD tomorrow. So there's not a lot of movement expected this morning unless it's just normal FX movement. Just going to quickly run through the news because weekly income. Well, there's a reason not to click on an ad, isn't it? You could get weekly income out of the markets. We'd all be doing that. Bloody hell. Do they want to advertise enough? Might see if I could advertise on there. That'd be amazing, wouldn't it? We're going through here looking at me. So we have a look at the news. Just going back to yesterday afternoon. This is the talking heads we had back here. Kugler, even. At some point, cooling inflation and labour markets will make a rate cut appropriate. Yeah, so it's just usual stuff. We're going to cut the rates at some point, probably May, might be March, depending on who you speak to. We need more data before supporting a rate cut. Doesn't need to go all the way back to 2%. Is possible future interest rates might be higher than pandemic levels? Yes, I would have surprised if they weren't. The negotiations aren't going well with Hamas. There's a 10-year bond. So we had drop in the dollar, a bit of a whipsaw. If you look at the US dollar, basically, Euro US is the easiest gauge for that. If you look at yesterday's bond auction, where's my pen? It's there basically. So you just usually get a whippy movement, but occasionally the bond auctions go quite a lot different to anticipated, and you do get a big move off it, but didn't happen yesterday. So it's very hit and miss, that one. Bank of Canada. Overnight, we've got a bloke advertising to us permanently. PayPal disappointing. Japanese current accounts. Chinese Bank of Japan, Uchida to main cautious approach toward rate hikes. Oh no. You get. Okay. So weakness in the yen off the back of that. Basically saying we're not sure, maybe we might not do the rate hike as soon as we thought, basically, is what you should read into that. That's what I'm waiting for, the opposite news to that. Great, thanks for that. Got loads out of Bank of Japan. Nothing else red, though. So that's it for news. So no other news. Oh, it's really making my head itch having a Mohican. Sorry. I'll put it back down again. Right. So we are 3 minutes from the open. Have a look through RSIs, ADRs, etc. in a bit. There's a few RSIs to look at. There's one ADR, which is the Swiss yen ADR hit to the upside. We've got a couple of weeklies as well. Banked a little bit on hedging. I haven't been through the accounts this morning, so I just want to see if there's anything to bank. We are retesting that level. I'm just going to shut this US dollar CAD. It's only 0.2, but I'm worried about this US dollar move holding up. So we've hit that, bounced, hit it again, bounced, hit it again, bounced. So just in case, might as well stick it in the bank. Money's money. New Zealand, US as well. That got, should have taken that off up there, but I'll leave that for the minute because that New Zealand dollar unemployment rate was really good compared to what they were forecasting. So we might get a little bit more strength off the Aussie and New Zealand. Apart from that, nothing much else to look at there. Yes. So market's about to open. We've got 50 seconds. US. Leave that to run. I'm fed up looking at these, to be honest. So US dollar CAD, I'm closing, and I'm going to close out the pound US as well. I'm just worried about this US dollar move. We're not retracing quite fast enough on this move. We did a V-shaped recovery straight after the second day drop there. But I don't like this price action, and we've got news this afternoon. So what I'm worried about is just doing this today until the 1:30 news, and then the 1:30 news being positive US. So I'm just going to stick this in the bank. It's not a lot of money, but it's also off the back of a big potential fundamental shift. I don't think it should do, but anyway. Right. Let's quickly look at the markets. So pre-market long FTSE. So yesterday on the European markets, we got hedged on the FTSE, exited the hedge there. It was a clean break on the DAX, took both off on the DAX. It was about 2 hours, 2.5 hours in. We didn't go anywhere. Well, yeah, it was 2 hours in roughly. So I took those off just as it started to push back up, and then we had a nice big drop during New York. So good day yesterday on those two. Not good on the New York side. I had one hedge exit. The other two were losses. So I had another margin problem yesterday as well. So I've really got to shut this Darwin X account down. The problem. It's not so much a problem getting margin called. It doesn't get close enough to close the positions out. But what it does do is means I can't get new positions on. So yesterday on the, I can't remember which one it was. Yeah, the S&P. I couldn't get the aggressive exit on. So I couldn't get out. So basically we pushed up. I exited the long position there. Can't quite see that, can you? I exited the long position there. And then it pushed away just as I exited it, which is fine. So it dragged the trailing stop up. Then the trailing stop triggered, but it didn't trigger because I didn't have enough margin. So obviously I couldn't get out. I don't think I would have got out actually on it anyway, but that's not the point. The point is it didn't even trigger the order. So it's a problem. 1 to 30 is just not enough to trade all of these, and I'm only trading with 0.25% risk. So I mean, it's not exactly a lot. So I think I'm going to make this the last day on this, and then I'm going to switch back to Robo. Just don't get quite so good execution with Robo, unfortunately. But not a lot I can do about that. So DAX, no break yet. FTSE's broken along straight up into propulsion and dropped. Not really a propulsion gap, that, but so yesterday, obviously, big drop across all markets, European and US. So everything yesterday. Oh, sorry, no, the US was the opposite. So US big rallies and European big drops. So a bit of divergence across them at the minute. So upside targets today and downside targets, we are right at yesterday's low. So if we break short today, that is also the pre-market low. So we're going to run straight into potential limit order triggers if we go south. Failing that, we'll be coming down to the previous day's low, which is TP1 basically on the a 2R move to the downside for me. We got this big accumulation before the New York move, which is potentially a decent place for us to hit some orders. Failing that, you're looking at ADR today, which is yesterday's high. And pretty much the same here. So FTSE's broken along anyway, but if the FTSE breaks basically this accumulation here, which is the New Yorkie bit, we've got nothing to stop us until we're right up at yesterday's high. So we'll see where we go. But there's no news for the European markets at all this morning. So market is free to do what it wants, which for the DAX at the moment seems like very little. Morning, everybody else. Ran a Windows update yesterday night, and now my loudspeaker sounds like a radio from the early 20s. Good old Windows. That's called a feature. Some people call it a bug, but Microsoft will call it a feature. Had to set it to mono only. Weird. Yeah, Windows. Try IC markets for SIH. Good execution. Have to deal with in whole lot sizes. Can't do that, thought feeder. You can't trade full lots. Not with proper risk, anyway. Always micros. This won't even work in micro. This won't even work on a full lot broker. You'd have to, in the settings, you'd have to use fixed lot size. Yeah. Otherwise, it won't be able to take the trades because it won't be able to do the lot calculations. And that means I cannot risk the correct amount on the range, which means every day I'm taking a different risk, which means there's no risk consistency, which means that on a bad day, if it happens to be the day I've used a big risk because of the size of the range, I lose more. On a small range day, if it goes 5R, I win less. Can't do that. You have to have a micro broker. If you don't, you will never make it profitable. Well, I mean, you might do. I don't know, but test it. But that's not a good idea. Morning, Gav, Champagne, Rico, Day Trader, everybody else, John, Joe, Themba. Can't remember where I got to on the list. 1R on the FTSE. What am I doing? I'm going to do too many things at once. Okay, new high of the day. We're just rallying around this area, look. Again, so it's just this area, we're just flip-flopping at the minute. This is day 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 of going nowhere. Out the highs, pretty much the same on the DAX. The DAX is a little bit more bullish, but not huge. My target happens to be exactly on that line. Look. Oh, look at this DAX. There's absolutely no volume. So the 5-minute cash balance is an inside bar on the pre-market range. And the second 5 minutes, we're halfway into this, and it's still not got out. So Germany seems to be asleep this morning. Checking, we definitely haven't got any news. I'm surprised. Not going anywhere today. Let's do a quick like check, shall we, while we're waiting for the market to do something? 32. There's 73 of you in here. That's 64, which is less than half of you, which means that less than half of you like me, which is fine. I don't care, but I'd rather it was more than half of you. So if you could just do the little thumb for me, that'd be lovely. Morning, Astro. Germany is awake. It's a cold day, that's why. Yeah, they just haven't bothered to go into work, look. It's just not moving. Look at it. Look at it. It's not even ticking. There's absolutely no volume. Last year on DAX, you were using fixed lot sizes on the DAX? Yeah, and I stopped doing that. For that exact reason, Thought Feeder, because you won't get the right risk on. So, as an example, yeah, we're using a minimum range and a maximum range. So, let's say you just use one lot. Day one, it's a minimum range. We go 72. Yeah. So, your risk on one lot is that. Yeah. So, if you get hedged, you're locking in that. If it breaks to 2R, and then comes back down again and stops you out, that's the profit you make. Yeah. If the range is twice as big, you're risking twice as much, double the risk, to make the same amount of money. So if you get hedged on a double size risk, you make twice as much loss, but you still make the same return on the same move. Yeah. Which is why we use percentage risk in everything we do. Everything I do is percentage risk. You risk a percentage based on the movement that you are risking or anticipating, which is why in position trading we use ADR, because we're risking based on the average daily range of the movement. The average daily range that we trade, you need to base your risk over that. You can use fixed lot, that's why it's in there, but it's by far ideal. You should be using a risk percentage ideally. And to do that, you need to have micro lots, because the EA needs to be able to calculate the exact lot size to use based on the range, which it can't do with full lots. Just doesn't work. But I mean, it does work, but it's obviously, just be careful. We have a carnival beginning in the South German region. They don't work then. Well, they're certainly not at work today, are they? Look, we're 15 minutes into the open. We haven't even broken yet. It's just not going anywhere. This has to win the award for the slowest open this year. FTSE's not much better, is it? Anyway. Can you confirm for me my account with RoboForex? I've selected US Tech Cash, US 30 Cash, US 500 cash, and DE40 cash. Well, yeah, whether it's a cash, there's the cash market and there's another, doesn't matter. Yeah, I mean, that will be the one, depending on which you're on. Basically, it's the US Tech is NASDAQ, US 30 is Dow, US 500 is the S&P, and DE40 is the DAX. So yeah, that's fine. It doesn't matter what you trade. There's two markets. There's the cash market and the CFD market. The price action is the same. The price will be different. One is tracking futures, basically, and one isn't. So all it's doing really is it's a slightly different pricing structure. So you might have a different price to me. So I'm trading at 169.30. Yours might be at a different price. but your price action candlesticks will be the same. So it doesn't matter which you trade. The action is the same because when they dump an order, the cash market and the CFD market track each other. So it doesn't matter what they use at all. But yeah, those are the right ones. And you won't have the FTSE. That's the only reason. That's the only downside. This is why I moved away from Robo back into DARWINX, because you haven't got the FTSE in Robo. I don't know why they haven't got the FTSE, but they just don't. Which is surprising for a big broker. Most of the, Robo Forex are one of the biggest brokers in the world. FXCM, Robo Forex, IC, Alpari, IG, all these big guys. Usually you can trade anything you like, but for some reason they don't have FTSE. Don't know why. Maybe an FCA regulation or something, I don't know. But anyway. Morning, Andrew. First time watching and working through your 5-part course. Disappointed there's no Lambos yet. I can fix that. Ta-da! I have a Lambo. Job done. There you go. So you can now guarantee that if you follow my course, that can be yours. But reward is always a fixed portion to risk, regardless of lot size. Yeah, but your risk is double. You're missing the point, thought feeder, right? If I risk that size or that size with my current risk portfolio, which is a percentage of the range, my risk over there is 0.3% of my account. I don't care. Whatever the size is, it's irrelevant. The risk is always exactly 0.3%. If you use a fixed lot of 1, your risk there is half as much as your risk there. You are risking a different amount of money based on what the size of the range is. It isn't consistent. Your reward is the same, distance-wise. Distance is the same. Money is not the same, is it? You risk $100 over that and you go that far, you're going to make $200. If you risk $100 over that and you go that far, you're going to make $100. Yeah? If you risk $200 there, you're going to make $400 there, but you're also going to lose more. I get that, but the maximum range size protects you from anything crazy. Yeah, it does, but all I'm saying is you're going to have a completely different risk every time you trade. If you're happy with that, do it. If I'm not happy with that because I like consistent risk. But up to you. I don't mind. You can do what you like. I don't care. I'm just saying I'm not going to get the same risk. You can't. It's physically impossible because this number is never the same every day. It's going to be roughly the same. And yes, you are never going to get more than 20%. But let's say, right, you risk 1. And instead of the ADR being 724, the ADR goes up to 1,724. You are now risking 1 over a much bigger move. Yeah? 2 to 3 times that size. What's your risk now? 2 to 3 times what it was when the range was 724. You get hedged 4 times in a row. That's 2 to 3 times the risk I would get. So up to you. I mean, you can use the reason I have it like this is so that you can do what you like. Because some brokers, this is why this is here. Some brokers force you to use it. And as much as I can scream and shout and pull my hair out and tell people, for God's sake, it's in this day and age, you should not be using anything but micro lots. If a broker doesn't use micro lots, kick them to touch. They're crap. Yeah. The reason they are doing this is to force you to risk too much money. Yeah. That's why it's there. Because if I can't get it through your head, go ahead and do what you like. I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but that's not how the rest of the world does it. So it's there to protect you. So that, you can cap the risk. But I can't do anything about it. Yeah, if you want to use them, use them. I would never use them if they've got fixed lots. In fact, I used to be with IC. I've been with pretty much every broker, but I can't use them if they're using fixed. It's not me, man. Price of Lee's Lambo course, 375,000 paid directly to your local Lambo dealer. That would be nice. In fact, what I'll do is I'll take it by crypto, because then they can't trace how I got my Lambo. You've made my trading very boring, position trading, which beats contrary trend chasing episodes. Sorry about that. But being profitable is boring, unfortunately. FTSE's failed. So may well get hedged on the FTSE. DAX has broken like lightning to the downside. So just going to move T1 up below yesterday's high. Yesterday's low. Previous day's low even. Get it right. So yeah, previous day's low. So we've broken yesterday's low. Next target to the downside with limit orders will be previous day's low. Then we've got these two little areas from Monday. So TP1 there. TP2 is going to be 125 ADR, which is highly unlikely, but we will see. So we'll see how we get on with those. But not exactly setting the world on fire today, are we? Right. So let's have a quick look at FX. We'll start with ADRs because there's not a lot to look at there. So the only ADR today is the Swiss yen. Big push up on that. This is the Ueda. Was it Ueda? I can't remember who it was that ruined my day. I think it was Ueda. No, Uchida. Uchida ruined my day today. So basically they devalued the yen this morning. So obviously big, strong pushes up against the yen. Swiss franc money rolling into that. So if you're pulling out of the yen, you're going to put it somewhere safe for the moment, which is usually the Swissy. So the Swissy's probably powering up across the board. So Aussie dollar Swiss coming down. Euro Swiss starting to come down. Doesn't look like it is powering up too much. Aussie and New Zealand are dropping. So yeah, so that's first ADR. You'll probably find most of these yens will probably hit ADR at some point today if they continue this drop. So there is still an opportunity for a short on it if it gets any more extended. We have now broken out of that channel finally. After 3 weeks, we get out of the lows and then they say that. Thanks. So we've finally made that move, which is what we're waiting for, is that yen strength. And then they come out and say, actually, the rates probably might not go up yet. So doesn't mean we are necessarily going to obviously rally, but it's just put a little bit of a spanner in the works. Market may pay no attention and just carry on doing that anyway, because they haven't said they're not going to increase the rates. All they've said is it's not necessarily going to be right now. Cautious approach, i.e. we're not sure. We haven't done it for 7 years. You've got to bear in mind the Japanese haven't changed their interest rates for 7 years. So, yeah, I would expect you to be cautious. But if you're going to be cautious, don't come out in November and go, we're going to change the rates, and then go quiet for 2 months. Doesn't help, does it? So, yeah, so reversal that's just gone in. Structure's just spoken back into the upside. I wouldn't have too much problem shorting that. If we get to 125 ADR, I'll get into it anyway. And then scaling up to 225, which we're going to hit all these highs. The market is going to be selling those highs. So but that's your only one today. We had pound Swiss hitting the weekly yesterday. So that's just starting to pull back. It might turn into a second flag. We'll see. 3 short on that at the moment from an ADR hit here. Starting to come down now. I need to put a TP on that position. So now I'm going to target that propulsion gap. So see if we can get a move down into propulsion there. That's a nice target, that, because it's above that high and above that high. So that was my initial target in there. But now I can target there because the average is now here. And New Zealand dollar Swiss. That was the weekly, so that's playing out nicely. Just about to get a reverse alert on the hourly on that. So this candle is going to give you that hourly reversal alert. Glad I got out of that New Zealand dollar US dollar on the other account. I'm sure I got out of a New Zealand dollar. Oh, no, it's that one, wasn't it? No? Sure, I just banked something. Euro yen. 0.5% on that. Banking that euro yen. We'll have a look at that in a minute. So that's all you got on the ADRs and weekly ranges. Nothing's hit monthlies yet. So we're early in the month. It's only the 8th, so I'm not surprised we haven't got any monthlies. So yesterday banked 1.9%. Great day yesterday. Lots of movement. Got out of loads of positions. So all good yesterday. 6.5% on the month, sitting in 3.8 drawdown. ADR reversals. RSI reversals. There's quite a few getting close today. I think I took a new position. A couple of new positions yesterday. US dollar Swiss was earlier in the week. Pound Swiss. Yeah, pound Swiss yesterday. So that was your hourly RSI extension at resistance. We did get the bounce. See, this is what I keep saying about limit orders at resistance. Yeah. So when you hit areas where we've previously pulled away from hard, that is obviously forming an area where the banks have sold. So when you hit these levels again, the banks that sold those levels have orders, backup orders there to drive more into their order, which is why you get these bounces. It doesn't mean it's going to do that. It means you're going to get a reaction. That reaction is why we get flags. Yeah. So when you see a flag break like that, you will often find that flag appears at an area of previous resistance, or if it's a downside flag, that is often at a previous support. So it's basically just the limit orders triggering. And then it's a case of, have the people that have rallied into that level still got enough volume to drive it through? Do they need to place more orders in that direction? So that's basically what we had yesterday. We had the resistance bounce. So we got the reversal alert there after the drive up. And then obviously at the moment it's not really going anywhere. So I'm targeting back down into propulsion here. I'll be watching it here. It's not a lot of profit if I get to there, but I'll be watching it back down there. Pound CAD, I think was, oh no, that's a really old one. That's gone absolutely nowhere. That's just sitting there costing me swaps. Euro US dollar, that might have been a new one. No, that's an old one. I thought there was something else I took yesterday. Maybe there wasn't. No. This kind of sums it up, doesn't it? I mean, this is just life at the minute, isn't it? Sideways. So 7% drawdown. That's mainly because these yens, again, 5% of that drawdown is on 2 yen pairs. Which, again, if we carry on pushing on this pound, I will do the aggressive again. So just taking another entry there. We've had a 5-minute reversal alert this morning. So next entry's gone in. ADR is 170. Sorry, RSI. Average price is 175 ADR away. So again, I will take off a portion of that when we get down, if we can get back down to sort of 150. If we push back up, so the last position I took aggressive drawdown control on was there. Since then, we obviously double topped. We've made a lower high. We've made another lower high. We've now made a higher high. So structure is just all over the place on this thing. It's a mess. So I'll be watching this area specifically for if we can get to 125 ADR today for an aggressive drawdown control position again. And same plan. Aggressive drawdown, reduce lower lot sizing. With that position there coming down, if I can get out of that, I will use that to do drawdown control. If I can get an aggressive on and I can get back down into here, I'll use all that to do drawdown control. Just working the position, trying to get out of it because it is just sideways. Nothing we can do if the market goes sideways in big waves like this. Can't get out because it's just not moving. So specifically with the yens, they cost a lot in swaps, which is why the drawdown gets a bit bigger because there's probably a good 1.5% of swap in there. But nothing I can do. So in those two, those are the main drawdowns on those at the moment. So setups today, let's just quickly check. Just hideous. Okay, so pulling back a little bit, hedged on the FTSE. So FTSE downside target, I'm just going to put within that weekly range. Upside target, I'll leave at 5R. Yeah, I mean, that's 3/4 of an ADR. We can make that if it decides to go anywhere. Downside, I would expect to get, again, limit triggers there. And then just to get a bounce out, can do what it likes after it bounces. As long as we get the bounce, I'll get the exit. We'll leave it there. Wait for the DAX. So ADRs today, Aussie dollar yen, that is extended on the hourly. 3-bar reversal going in there. Lovely. Beautiful 3-bar reversal. So that's a nice little short opportunity there. So final push, indecision, reversal. So that was just extended. We're not going to get any further extension. So if you're taking the 70s, you'll be in that on the 5-minute reversal alert, which was there. That's your entry. CAD yen also extended on the hourly. Just starting to reverse. Massive swap on that, spread on that. Look. So you've had the reversal alert and the retest. Euro, yeah, these are all going to be yens, basically, aren't they? So that's extended again. Same thing playing out. This yen is starting to power up a little bit. Pound yen, same thing in one because I'm already in short on that. And New Zealand dollar yen. 3-bar reversal going in there as well. Push, pause, pull. So looking good. We need to see what happens, see if they say anything else today about the yen. 4 hours, it's the same sort of thing. Actually, no, it's not. New Zealand dollar yen is extended on the 4 hour. So if you're trading at H4M15 or H4M5, beautiful resistance got coming up here, which we're getting a reaction at this area. Sold from that area 3 times. Back up there again in a sideways market. So nice extension. So looking for the same thing as we've had before. And that's nicely extended just about. But you've had the reversal alert, so you need to get in that quick if you want to take it. You've already missed 10 pips. New Zealand dollar Swiss. That's 125 extension. 125. This is the trouble with gym day. My brain is scrambled. So 125% of its average daily range. What I mean is it's gone to 75 RSI. Almost 80. So big extension. This is going to be a lovely pullback because it's hit the 80 level. When we hit the 80 level, we don't get there very often, but we do get a very strong reaction when we get to the 80, which is where we are. So we would expect even potentially a continuation short. If not at least a 50% pullback on that move. So that would be a good one. The shorts, New Zealand dollar Swiss. Why did I not get into that? Didn't quite get a reversal alert on that one, did we, yesterday? So that is where we got the RSI extension yesterday, above 75. The reversal alert, look, is there. We never got a reversal alert. So I didn't get the entry on that yesterday there, unfortunately. So there was the next new high made was all the way back up there. The reversal alert would be sitting on that candle there. We never broke that either. So we just didn't get a reversal alert on it yesterday because we never closed below the structure. So unfortunate, didn't get into that one yesterday. But yeah, that one's coming down nicely, or should be coming down nicely. A couple of others. Euro Swiss has just got extended. Big, strong push up there. So looking for a pullback on that one. CAD Swiss, so that's another 75. That was a 75. It's now a 73. So it was triggered at 75. So that was a nice big extension. Just looking for a pullback into propulsion. So if it's going to continue on its way up, looking for a pullback into there. If we are in bearish market structure, which we are at the moment, looking to continue down to there. But at the minute, you're in a symmetrical triangle pattern here. Yeah, so we're contracting. Then it'll explode in one direction or the other. CAD Swiss. Again, nice extension. Pull back into that propulsion. You've got a nice resistance coming up on this one as well. That monthly high, but you've also got this area here. That's not a very straight line, is it? Let's put a line on it so we can actually see it. We've got this area here, which is this previous support. We came and accumulated around it, and we came up and we tested it, tested it, tested it, tested it, tested it. I had to go through it, couldn't get through it. Basically there again. So this high and this area here. So this whole thing, got that area there, look, this is what it tapped into. So that whole area there, which is basically from where we are right now up until that line, is a great area. We'll probably find some sellers starting to enter into the market. So it is pushing up. Again, we've gone into accumulation for ages on this. So these markets are all really, really messy. Anybody that's doing any kind of normal technical analysis to do with market structure on this will be pulling their hair out because there isn't any. Everything is just a mess. You go, oh, look, it's just started to go short, and then it doesn't. And then you're like, oh, well, it looks like it's going long. And then it will pop down to there. And then you're like, oh, well, it's in a range. And then it will fly off and make a new high. It's just the markets are all in a mess because there is nobody on the planet at the moment that knows which direction to trade and when, because we're just waiting for that interest rate drop that they will never tell us is coming. So you go one way and then all of a sudden you're flying back the other. So you look like you're coming into some nice symmetrical triangle pattern, and then all of a sudden it breaks out and you go, oh, brilliant, it's a long, and then it will come down here. And you're like, well, that's now an expanding wedge. It just changes. Every week it just looks different. You can't pick anything at the minute. So, which is great for us because we don't use any of that crap. We just use not crap. I mean, it does work when the market is doing what it should be doing. But if you just use strength of movement, you know they're going to get out. So it's much easier for us to find entries. Aussie New Zealand extended to the downside. Got that last support at that monthly level. I don't know what that line was. So good little area there for a buy. Again, same as that one. We got a little bounce out of it, so don't get too greedy at the moment because could do anything at any moment. So, but we are stuck in a very long 2-month range, and you're at the bottom of it. So you buy from the bottom of the ranges, you sell from the tops. There we go. So banked 2.6 on that yesterday. Banked 3.6 so far this morning. 185 on the month. Still can't believe this is only 185 on the month. I just can't. Just not moving, is it? We're not getting enough entries, and we're not getting any movement on what we do get into. Nothing you can do. Hence having multiple strategies. One of them's going to be moving, isn't it? So that's those two covered. DAX is just retesting pre-market lows. It's not even ticking, look. I'd be very surprised if we can even get to 2R today. I mean, It's the same as yesterday. I did this yesterday. If you look at yesterday's trade, I did exactly the same thing because we got the initial break, and then we did this hour and a half in, and then we sat there for another hour, and then it moved, and I'm like, screw this, I'm out, because it took over 2 hours just to move 2R from the initial range. And it's exactly the same today. If this gets down to here, I'll probably just shut the lot today because we're hitting a support, which you can't see behind my head. Yeah, we're hitting a potential level of support. And if we don't get a bounce out of that, you're going to get a bounce out of 3R. So that's realistically probably all you're going to get today if you're lucky. So these are the days where you just bank it because... I mean, we've got to get there yet, but there's absolutely no volume today. This is a momentum breakout strategy. Momentum being the key word. We don't have any momentum, so quite hard to make money with a momentum breakout strategy that has no momentum. Anyway, what can you do? I see prop firm funded engineer are in trouble. Really? Funded engineer? Never heard of them. Most trusted funded trading program. Never even heard of that one. Yeah. I'm taking that off my website. This is coming off the website. I'll probably do that today. I need to remind myself to do that today. They're all falling by the wayside. All these prop firms are having their licenses pulled by MetaTrader, or they're under investigation from the FBI or the FCA or the SEC, or they've got their broker that they're using in that case there is turning around and going, no thanks. They are all crooks. Yeah, we know this now. There's 2 firms now confirmed that I've been manipulating price. Do you think they're all doing it? It's the same business model. They're all running the same business model. Why do you think they're giving that one in particular 75% off sale? Because we don't give a crap how much money you give us, because it's all ours. You're never getting anything back. It's all a con. Same as binary options. Luckily, I made a lot of money out of it last year before it collapsed, but give it 6 months. They'll all be gone. If they are still here, the ones that are still here will be the ones that are FCA regulated. So basically, they will be a regulated broker. So there's nothing wrong with a broker offering funding if it's a regulated broker. But what do brokers do? Have control of price. Do you want... And this is where binary options went wrong, wasn't it? Yeah. This is why binary options was such a massive thing, because it was, and deriv.com. It's all a con. The whole thing's a con. But it takes a while for governments, regulators, and that to see it and understand the mechanism going on behind it. Binary options. Here's a level. Is it going to be higher or lower? Let's see. Within 1.5 minutes. How many people have gone higher and how many people have gone lower? 64% have gone higher. Okay. And the answer is lower. Oh, I'll have that 64 and we'll use the money from that to pay the guys down there 1.25%. We bank the rest. It's gambling. Prop is gambling. Deriv.com. Let's sign up with a broker that has synthetic indices. What are these synthetic indices? They're things that the brokers invented to track things that don't exist, that they produce a price for. Okay, let's trade those because the broker's got full control over the price of it. So when I go long, he goes short. When I go short, he goes long. Why am I losing all my money? Because he's moving the price against whatever you're doing. Takes you a good couple of accounts usually to realize that you're being conned, but this is why I don't recommend deriv.com. Anyway, prop funds. Another scam in the financial markets. Does MT4 have a shortcut key to turn the scale fix on and off quickly? No idea. I don't know. No, the scale fix is nothing to do with MT4. It's Windows. So no, there won't be. Big Brother. Used to watch that, Tammy. I hope you're not talking to me. I'm not big. I'm on a diet. Pound yen just destroy the whole week's move. That midweek reverse was deadly. Yep. Morning, Sean. When assessing a pair has exceeded ADR, is the starting point the open of the day? Nope. Watch the video here on the ADR reversal indicator, and that will explain how ADR works. Chat. It's measured from the low of the day and the high of the day. DAX has really been slow for the past few weeks, yeah. Unfortunately. Leverage on Darwin X is 30 for Forex and 20 for indices. So even lower, yeah. Yeah, I just need a different one. I noticed E8 has rebranded itself as an educational company. Yep, getting around the regulations. E8 are now E8 Markets, not E8 Funding. They know it's coming. All these firms. Half of these prop firms are also run by ex-criminals. Yeah, there's so much of this coming out the woodwork. The directors of these companies have been done for financial fraud, they've been bankrupted. They've had other things which have been very shady. Yeah, it's when you sit back now and look at it. I traded with them for a long time last year, and I made a good amount of money, but I didn't make money trading. I made money gambling. Yeah, and it was all gambling. Yeah, I was going in with huge risk and hoping that the 50-50 would work. It's red or black, basically, at the end of the day, isn't it? Yeah, you've got 1% risk, you've got 5 trades a day. Yeah, you've got 5% drawdown a day. So basically, you've got 1% risk, 5 trades a day. Your job is to try and make 8% out of those 5 trades. That's your job. If you go with anything smaller than that, it's going to take so long for you to get funded. At some point, you'll get pissed off and you'll blow the account anyway. And you've got to do that twice. So by the time you get your funded account, if you had a lucky couple of months, that one ain't going to be, is it? Yeah, they know it. If you look at it sitting back now, they have literally just been selling demo accounts for $500. What a business. Who wouldn't go into that business? I can get 100 demo accounts from my broker free by pressing a button, or I could pay that company $500 for the same thing on the chance that I might have a strategy that holds for a period of time that they will give me a fake 100,000 that I might be able to make money out of if I can hold it long enough. This is why 0.04% of people got paid, because the market doesn't allow you to trade within those conditions. I'm sitting in 6.82% of drawdown. Why? Because the market didn't do what I thought it was going to do. I can't control that. They know that. Just a massive con, isn't it? So now some of them are rebranding themselves as probably brokers. Don't use them. If they've got the brokerage that supplies the funding, they're manipulating the price. So they're no good. You can't use those. Rebranding themselves as educational companies that also offer funding. So they'll teach you how to press buttons, and then they will sell you a demo account so that you can press the buttons, pay them a commission, a spread, and a swap, and also pay them for the demo account as well. But they're now regulated. It's going to get worse. Trust me. They'll be dropping like flies. They'll be dropping every week in the next couple of months. They'll all be disappearing. Even, the big ones out there, they're going to have to do things like FTMO now pulled out of America. Why? The SEC are investigating them. All right, we don't do America anymore. Sorry, where's your jurisdiction, SEC? America. All right, UK, Europe, Indonesia. You're now our target market because you don't give a crap. When the UK FCA suddenly goes, what are these prop firm things? FTMO will pull out of UK. I won't be able to trade. Yeah, and then they'll be stuck with all the dodgy brokers in Indonesia that you can't basically trade with. So it's all you want to do it, go and get some money. It's the only way to do it. Or use them now to gamble enough money out of them to get your own account going. That's the way to do it. This is why I'm trading with all the accounts I've got now, because I made some serious money out of prop last year. I made enough to fund another proper sized account. But there was no skill involved at all. As you saw, if you were in here last year, I passed an evaluation in the morning, phase 2 in the afternoon, and I was funded by the evening. I made 16% return on an account in one day. That's not really good risk management, is it? It was fun. Brokers go under too, yeah. But brokers go under for no other reason than they can't attract enough customers, yeah? The statistics, 90% of traders lose 90% of their account in 90 days. Therefore, as a brokerage, you have to replace 90% of your customer base every quarter. That requires a lot of money to advertise. Look at everything we do. There's advertising everywhere. Well, there isn't for me because I've got an ad blocker. But if I turn my ad blocker off on Forex Factory, ta-da, I'm now bombarded with adverts. Yeah. This thing here costs over 100,000 a quarter to have it in place. That's what you have to spend because 90% of their customers disappear every quarter. So they've got to replace them. Brokerages go under because they physically can't get any customers because there's not enough out there. Yeah, it costs $250,000 to get a brokerage license. Think about the typical retail customer with $1 or $2 grand in their account. You need a hell of a lot of them just to get your license fee back. That's if you're licensed in one country. If you want to be licensed in multiple countries, you're looking at millions just to set a brokerage up. That's why they go under. It's a very difficult business to get started because it costs an awful lot of money. But pound dovish or hawkish? I don't. Nothing at the moment, is it? Everything is bearish. Everything. Every single currency out there is bearish because every single currency out there is about to drop their interest rates at some point in the next 3 to 6 months. Therefore, they will all drop. When? No idea. UK needs to wise up and allow higher leverage. Yeah. Well, we used to. I used to with Alpari. I used to trade with Alpari before they went pop in the Swiss franc peg removal. But it's a good thing. It's a good thing for most people having reduced leverage because most people are stupid. And it's a good thing that they shut your trades down. But for most styles of trading, 1 to 30 leverage is fine. If you're using a standard stop loss based strategy, it's not a problem. It just doesn't work for trading strategies that make money, like position trading. So you have to use your account, and that's, this is in this amount of drawdown because it generates that much alpha. If I was restricted, I wouldn't be able to generate that much. I would generate a smaller portion. So it's just, it's there to protect people, which is good. But if you know what you're doing, you can't use it. That's the unfortunate thing. Every day I get prop discount emails. Yeah. This is the thing. They are in a fire sale. There's a flash sale going on in the prop industry at the moment because they know their time is up. They're limited. So they are getting as much money in as fast as possible so that they can just vanish, disappear. Great money laundry operations, prop firms. I says, yeah, I guess they probably are, aren't they? Yeah, we'll probably find out at some point the whole thing's run by the Russian mafia or the Yakuza or something. Everybody that works in the prop industry is actually under the Yakuza umbrella. That's where the term money laundering came from, wasn't it? It's all the Chinese laundrettes laundering money. Anyway, we're talking rubbish. DAX pulled it back up inside the initial opening range. We're starting to drop again now. So yesterday, 3.3% banked on hedging. Drawdown's creeping up a little bit because we're obviously banking. So the more we bank, the more the drawdown increases. There's nothing in any danger at all. There's nothing even in 1% of drawdown yet. So I will just keep banking as we get money coming in. Bank 0.98% today. So yeah, same thing. Reversal alert short, took it off. Reversal alert long, took it off. We'll get in when we get a reversal alert short, and I'll take it off. And we just keep rinsing and repeating. This is nice at the moment, but I know this is going to hit big numbers. So I'm comfortable at the minute, but I'm cautiously uncomfortable. This is really outside of my comfort zone. If you know me and you've been in my live rooms for the last couple of years or so, the one thing I do is control risk and drawdown control. I'm on it. Scares the life out of me having to manage drawdown control on 28 pairs at once, trading in both directions. This is going to be a real mental test for me holding this, because I saw what happened to it last year. But at the end of the day, high risk comes high reward. Yeah, you don't produce 140% a year on autopilot without it being risky. I'm currently testing the H1M5 strategy on a prop live account with very low risk. I was only lucky to survive the 2 challenges, but I like position trading better. Yeah, well, you will like position trading better because it makes money. But the problem is, obviously, you are going to go into drawdown. You're going to hold higher drawdown. So the problem with prop, I passed an evaluation with H1M5 last year in prop just to show it could be done. Took a couple of attempts to do it, but I did it. But the problem with it is obviously the drawdown. So when you have a daily drawdown limit of 5% and an overall account limit of 10%, for example, or 12%, I think I was on E8, which was 12. That, when they do the overnight change, is over 5%. That's a fail. Doesn't matter. Yeah, I mean, look at the hedging account. Doesn't matter that I've made 14.85%. What matters is that. And this is the prop business model. We know you can gamble. Anybody can flip a coin, go long 3 lots and be lucky. Anybody. Yeah, baby. You could get a baby basically to hit the keyboard and make money. Controlling that is where the skill is. And that's the bit that they know people can't do. Because if you are to make that money, you need to let the market breathe. As the market breathes, you will take drawdown. And drawdown, you can't control. This is why they set the 5% limit, because they know that 90% of strategies out there will never, ever have a streak of 2 to 3 months without having a 10%, 5% daily drawdown. Just life. Go and look at any back test on any strategy, and you will find the P&L looks very much like this chart. Inverse. So making money, bit of drawdown. Making money, bit of drawdown. Making money, bit of drawdown. Making a lot of money, drawdown. What is that? So we started there. We've made that much money. We've drawn back 50% on the profit. So let's say we've made 10 grand. What's that? Five grand. What's that? Evaluation fail. Hang on a minute, but I've banked 5 grand. No. You went into 5 grand of drawdown. Yeah, no, but I've banked 5 grand. I'm up 5 grand, Mr. Prop Firm. No, you went to 10 and then you went back by 5. Yeah, I know, but I've made 5 grand. No, that's not our rules. See what I mean? And then I carried on and made a load of money. Then I did a bit of drawdown. Then I made a load of money. Then I went into a big drawdown. After making 10 grand, I took 7 grand of drawdown. Fail. No, you're not getting paid. But I've made 10 grand. No, that's not the rules. That's how it works. They know exactly how a professional trader works. We take drawdown. It's the job. You have drawdown for a reason. It's called drawdown into your account. It's not loss, it's drawdown. It's active money sitting there. All this cash is waiting to be turned into profit. So what? It's exactly the same as a business, isn't it? So I've got a 15 grand in capital. I'm using 5.7% of my capital to run my business. What's wrong with that? If I use 20% of my capital to run my business, what's wrong with that? My business's goal is to earn money. It will do. I'm just using my capital. That's what they don't like, using more than 5% of your capital. And they tell you they're because the investors don't like drawdown. There aren't any investors. It's a demo account. If you're using prop, good luck. But make sure you pull the money out regularly. That's the thing you've got to do. If you have a lucky day, stop. Wait to payday, take it out. Because you won't have a lucky day and then you'll lose the lot. That's all I ever did. I just kept rallying it up to $3,000, stop, draw it. Rally it up to $3,000-4,000, stop, draw it. Yeah. Just keep drawing it because I'm going to blow the account. I'm 100% guaranteed. I know I'm going to blow the account at some point very soon. So if I have $3,000 of profit in there, I'm stopping and I'm waiting for payday and I'm taking it. And then I'll just try again. All right, I'll do another one. But I just made $3,000. That's the way you do it. Take 10 evaluations. You will pass 2 or 3 of them. Out of those 2 or 3, your job is to make more money than you've spent in evaluations. That's your profit. It's a business. Cost $500 per evaluation. Take 10 of them. Cost of doing business, $5,000. 3 evaluation passes. 3 evaluations, 3 funded accounts passed out of the 10. 30% strike rate. Out of those 3, blow 1. One of them's not doing anything. That one makes $5,000. That one has now got my costs back. The account that hasn't been doing anything, that is profit. If that can make $3,000, withdraw. Mortgage paid. That's the business model. That's what you do with prop. That's how you make money out of prop. You don't get an account and spend 6 weeks getting through phase 1, 6 weeks getting through phase 2, get your funded account. They'll manipulate the crap out of it, blow your account. You've spent 3 months getting absolutely nowhere and spent $500. Sound familiar? This is why I've only got 76 people in here. Tell it like it is. Nobody likes it. Everybody wants the Lambo. But I can produce those as well. Ta-da! There we go. There's your Lambo. You could probably get one of those with prop if you bought enough evaluations. I did the 200K evaluation once with my Forex funds. And I got the account. And I lost it very, 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 very quickly because your mindset is triggered into, I can do 16% a month. That's easy. Lose, 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 lose. Anyway, we're going nowhere on the DAX. So I've covered all the FX today. Yen, we just had a couple of more extensions on the yen. Yen's still pushing. Oh, no. No, it's just an extension. On the hourly. So yen is actually turning back down again. So we've still got extended of the 20. Why is that not come back down again? Oh yeah, last closed candle. Oh yeah, sorry, yeah. So we were extended on the last closed candle, but obviously we've dropped since then. So yeah, everything's sort of petering out now on those yens. So hopefully we'll get a little bit of a pullback started on them, but all good opportunities on the yens today. But no news catalyst until 1:30. So we'll see where we go with the unemployment claims for the US. If it's bullish, I doubt we'll get a massive amount of movement out of it. Because the market has had that big rally off of the unemployment, I think it's probably waiting for some negative news so it can undo that. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. But that's 1:30 this afternoon, so that's your only news event. And then we're literally waiting for something else to move the market, because at the minute there's virtually no news. Was with Funded Engineer. Yes. I've never heard of that. That is one that has completely missed me, that one. I've completely missed that. Off my radar. Never even saw it. I mean, seriously, I know professional banker traders that don't make this. Some bloke sitting at home, judging by his name in some foreign country, is not making 335 grand. If he had a 200k, I mean, I suppose people probably could. You know, if he had a 200k funded account, that's 100. Well, it's 50% increase on the account, isn't it? Yeah. I mean, there's nobody. You'd have to go like 50 lots long, cross your fingers, hope, and don't look at the chart for 2 days. Come back and hope that it's gone up by 3 ADR. Close the position, take the money. That's the sort of trade that is, isn't it? Luckily, it didn't go into drawdown, because if it had gone into drawdown by like quarter of an ADR, he'd have blown the account. That's the type of trade that could produce that type of result. But how many accounts have you got to get over the line to get opportunity to do that? I mean, it's just... yeah, didn't see this one. This is what they all start pushing, the scaling plan. No one's ever going to hold an account long enough to scale it. After 16 months of simulated profitable trading, they even tell you it's simulated. It's not real. At least they're following guidelines, I suppose, by telling you how it is. But, late again, Peter. VPS keeps banking. That's what I like. Good job. I've set up the VPS. I've set up the new EA on my VPS. So that started trading yesterday, which is this account here. No, it's not. It's this account. So that is up and running, and it's trading, which is good. So I need to run through those trades and just make sure it's been doing what it says on the tin. Swiss yen. Let me just quickly check Swiss yen. 282. Yeah. Okay. So that should shut out. So yeah, I just need to make sure this takes some additional trades, and I need to make sure it's taking correct lot sizing, which it is. And I just need to make sure everything works. So I've got it set up on this account here. So this is that P&L, basically, same one. So I should be able to, in theory, switch charts, and it should auto detect everything going on the VPS. And let's try and pick something that's actually got a trade on, Aussie Swiss. There we go. So it's detecting what the trade is. That's a sell. I want one in drawdown. Aussie New Zealand. So Aussie New Zealand is a buy. I can switch time frames, doesn't affect anything. I can, and that's the next long position, so I can hit the buy button, and it automatically readjusts where the next entry is. It all works. Excellent. Cool. Superb. Right. So yeah, it's working. Extra position taken. VPS. Extra position taken. All sorted. Yeah, so that's running now. So this is on live forward test now. It's not running on a intelligent level. I've got it running at 65.35 on RSI. So this is not the strategy I would run. This is, so don't be shocked if this goes into stupid drawdown and just doesn't make money, because it's designed to test functionality. So I want to make sure it's taking auto additional entries. I can do manual auto entries and it auto adjusts next level entries. And it's just using 65.35 RSI just so that it gets into a load of trades. I want it to trigger fast. So normally I would obviously use much bigger extensions, but I want it to get into trades quickly for me. But I also want it to get into trades properly. So I didn't want to set it at 51.49 so it's constantly trading. I wanted to make sure that we have actually got some market movement. And I'm using half an ADR scale-ins on it just to make sure that it works properly, basically. So, so fingers crossed that's all working. It's all trading RSI at the moment. Oh, that's the one I've just entered. I was going to say, oh no, it's taken a trade and it shouldn't have. That's because I took that one. Idiot. So yeah, it's all trading off of RSI at the moment. So this is testing RSI. So I need to test this RSI functionality. As long as it's taken a few trades and as long as it's closing out at targets, that's fine. And then I will do a test on ADR. I could do half of these as ADR, couldn't I? That would make sense. Yeah, what I might do actually is I might stop this in a minute. And anything it hasn't taken a trade on, switch it over to ADR and just use 80% of ADR or something so that it's getting in. But yeah, all good. So all functionality seems to be working at the moment. Buttons are working, which is good. Cool. Exciting stuff. All the ICT lot actually believe he's real funding and they try to keep it. That's why the new EA has so many trades already. Oh yeah, so it's basically trading RSI 65.35s. Yeah, so if you look at the levels, I mean, we often hit the 60. There's a 60-40, so it's ever so slightly, but we get these levels get hit all the time. Yeah, we know that because obviously the market spends 58% of its time doing that and not hitting ADR. And when you start hitting ADRs, that's when you start getting RSI extensions. So it's set up at the moment just to take loads of trades, basically, just to test. All I want to test is, are you taking trades when I tell you to? Are you taking trades with the right lot sizing based on the risk parameters? Are you entering the next positions automatically at the right levels? When we get to the targets set, are you automatically closing the trades out live? It does it all in the back tester, but I need to test it does it all live. I came across a problem yesterday. I loaded it all onto the VPS and it suddenly started taking trades on a couple of pairs. And I was like, why are you taking trades? And it happened to be that the RSI didn't have any data loaded in the broker. So obviously RSI was showing a figure of 0. We were above 0, so it started shorting. So I had to put a logic in the EA to say if RSI is not 0, do this. So that's the sort of thing in the back tester, obviously data's all loaded. When you put it onto a real chart, these are the sorts of things you discover that, variables with brokers are different. It hasn't got any data there. There's all sorts of things you need to put in place. So that's what it's testing. It's testing real world functionality and being able to just press buttons and take trades, that sort of stuff. So I'll be keeping an eye on it. But yeah. So the ICT lot actually believe it's real funding and they try and keep it. Yeah. But the ICT lot are stupid, aren't they? Because they believe that ICT stuff works. Even though the guy's been outed as a fraud publicly by multiple people, people still believe in it. It's a weird cult, isn't it? ICT. It's bizarre. I got sucked into it. I mean, I got sucked into the ICT stuff ages ago. I never got through the whole thing because it was so boring. I fell asleep. So I picked bits and pieces out of it. But it's like a bizarre cult. People will not have any bad words said against ICT concepts, yet none of them are profitable with it. It's bizarre, the fact that they keep batting away at this thing and then they manipulate it. But it's all, I pick up a bit of ICT, I try it, it didn't work. So I manipulate that bit of ICT and take that bit out, put a bit of this in there and do this and that. And they keep doing it and doing it and doing it. And they plug away at it for years. ICT's king. Where's your P&L that proves it? There isn't any. It doesn't. It's just a bizarre thing. It's a weird thing, isn't it? It's like you would never join a death cult that is at the end of the 3 year with our cult, we're all going to commit suicide. All right. You wouldn't do that, would you? Why would you follow something that consistently loses money all the time? It's like, I just don't get it. If maybe it's me, logical man, but if I pick something up, try it for 6 weeks and it doesn't make money, it's like, that's crap. It's got to show some signs of life in 6 weeks, isn't it? I don't know. But I've had people come in here, regularly going, ICT's king, blah, 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 blah. Like, as soon as you ask for a P&L, they're like, no, I'm not showing that. Why? I do. Where's yours? Oh, no. So it's not working, is it? Yeah. All right. Anyway, what do you think about eToro? I've never traded with eToro, but eToro is more stocks. Is it possible to make money on their platform? It's a broker. Of course you can. It's a broker. eToro's not a strategy. It's a broker. If it's taken 2 trades in a position and you take a 3rd manual entry, will it auto adjust the 4th entry? Yes, I just showed you that. Look, I just did it, didn't I? Here, live. That line, the next long position, was about there. I pressed that button, that entry went in, and that line shot down there. I just did it live in front of you. I'll do it again. Let me do it again. CAD Swiss. EA took this trade on the CAD Swiss yesterday as a sell. Price is there. The next short entry is there. Stick a little line on it. I'm going to sell. And it jumped up because I've asked it to get in half an ADR apart. Ta-da! Magic. And now, if I close that, are you going to tick or not? Ta-da! It moves down. It auto detects stuff. This is AI, right? So this is now the position trading AI. It is so clever. When you close a trade, it will look at the last trade entered and remove the next position line. Artificial intelligence. This is going to change your life. If I had said that in the afternoon session in New York, nobody would have understood it because they do not get sarcasm at all. All the American people are now going to shout at me. English humor doesn't work in America. I have to be straight-faced in the afternoon sessions. If it's taking 2 trades, does it take a 3rd money? Also just for the, yeah, that. As in, they really think, oh, wow, I've been funded 200K. Now I'm going to keep this for 2 months. Yeah. But you do. There's no reason why you wouldn't, AZ. Think about it with these prop firms. When they first came out, I was on them like a shot. Yeah, I've got a comparison engine on the website because I spent so much time looking into prop and it all looked squeaky clean until my Forex funds. Well, actually, it was the documentary that came out on the BBC, first of all, that was looking into the prop firms and was like, this ain't real. Then it was like, really? Then we looked into it further and we're like, yeah, okay. I understand that it's not real. There isn't any real money there. I get that. But at the end of the day, who gives a crap? Yeah. If there is no real money and I'm trading a demo account and they are still paying me with no money traded and no profit produced, I don't care. Yeah. If they make 16 million a month, which is what my Forex funds were making out of evaluations, and I make 15 grand and they pay me that 15 grand from the 16 million, I'm a winner. I don't care whether I'm trading real funds or not. That was my outlook on it. It's like, whatever. If people think it's real, let them think it's real. The people that know it's not real, does it matter whether it's real or not? The company has said they will pay me a percentage of profits made on this demo account. And they did regularly. And then they went bust because they got investigated. And then another one went bust because they got investigated. Then another one had their license pulled. Now another one has disappeared. It's a house of cards. It's all going to come down. So milk it while you can. They do pay out. I know that. I've been paid many, many times. I know lots of people that have been paid by most of the companies. Nothing wrong with the business model as long as they are doing what they say. The way they're manipulating price in the background and using fake feeds and all that sort of stuff, I never personally experienced that. With my Forex funds, he was found to be manipulating the price. I personally never experienced it because I was scalping. If you're trading longer term, I can see how they may well be able to manipulate you out with spreads and swaps. But I was scalping and I was in and out using ORB and using bounce plays. So it would have been really obvious if I'd have been manipulated, which I wasn't. So I think what they were doing was probably the ones they couldn't manipulate, they didn't manipulate. The ones they could manipulate, they did manipulate. Yeah. It's just a maths equation, isn't it? You get 10,000 people take out an evaluation. If you can get 7,000 of them out with a price manipulation that they don't know about and they never moan about because they don't know it's happened, that's what you do. The rest of them, most of them are going to fail on their own anyway, but the small amount that do get through to payment, you just give them part of the 15, 16 million you just don't. Happy, happy. And then what do? Go and promote it in here. What do? Go and show all my certificates. What do? Show all my payout proof. And everyone goes, ooh, and they jump on board. It's a great business model. It's just not real. As long as you identify and you know that, it's not a problem, is it? I don't care about my Forex funds getting caught because I got paid. So it doesn't bother me. I came out of it okay. We're just taking another trade on something. Although the EA has 11.20 Aussie dollar CAD. A buy has just gone in. Correct. Good job. RSI on the hourly. 34.5, so that's below 35. Cool. It's working. I had about 500 people arguing back with me, telling me I was in the matrix. Can guarantee none of them make money. I've used eToro, yeah. This is the thing. I mean, this, you know, it's not with the ICT stuff. I have no problem with anybody teaching something if they do it, or they have done it and they are no longer doing it, but it worked. You're teaching a concept, and there's nothing wrong with teaching a concept. Making shit up, though, there's a line, isn't there? Yeah. The interbank price delivery algorithm. I don't know anybody in the banking sector, and I know a few people in the banking sector that have ever heard of the interbank price delivery algorithm. Most of his teaching is based on IPTA, the algorithms that control Forex pricing. The banks don't know about it, so I just think they'd be a little bit shocked to find out there was a magic algorithm sitting underneath all the banks manipulating price. I think they probably know. You know, stuff like that. You know, if you took that part of it out, the crap, it's probably not a bad strategy because it works on price action. and movement. And it is very similar to banking movement. It's just you can't do that when that happens and put that there and never make money, because that will get hit more than that does, which makes you unprofitable. That's the simple fact about it. The strategy is good, but it's all taught for low time frames. If he stuck that strategy back up on H1, I think he'd find it he could actually make money out of it. He'd probably be quite shocked. It's because the average person that believes ICT failed their GCSE and their profile picture is a topless guy in sunglasses. Quite probably. Yeah. That's why it will get you Lamborghini faster. What's the BBC doc called? Can't remember. Insta Traders. Is that the one? It was. No, that was IM Academy. That was a massive multi-level marketing scam. Yeah, FTMO. That's it. Yeah. So they looked into FTMO. So it's called Insta Traders on BBC Three. Probably get it on YouTube as well. But look at them all. Yeah. We all know you cannot trade and make a living on a mobile phone. All three of them are standing there with a mobile phone. Yeah. Me looks at that and goes, bullshit, and immediately turns it off. People that have been trading for 3 weeks, 3 months, look at that and go, oh, wow. So I could do my job, check my phone every hour and make $1 million to earn a Lamborghini. That's the problem, isn't it? And then 2 years in, you find out that isn't possible. Hedged on the DAX. This is going to be a good day, isn't it? I can see it. You can see it coming. Not going to get to ADR, are we? Okay, so DAX, I'm going to move down. Where do you go with this today? This is just a nightmare. It's just a mess. This whole thing's just a mess at the moment. I'm seriously considering scrapping index trading at the moment. I'm finding it very difficult to produce any consistent profit at the minute, because it's just like this a lot of the time. We're getting so few clean break days at the moment. It's just not moving. The world is stuck waiting for interest rate drops. And until we get one, I don't think this thing's going to go back into a trend situation at all. It's just stuck. And the price action is erratic. So trying to find a level on this to actually even get out of a hedge there's just so much crap, so much mess of movement. I think I'm going to go just shy of 3R to the upside. That's within ADR. We're finding it very difficult to get to ADR, so I'm not going to target that. There is a propulsion gap there, which they've sold out of twice. We then had another propulsion move start, which we haven't tested. We've got that propulsion move, which broke that low, which we've tested already. So there is a good chance we might hit the pre-market high and just go into rotation today. That's only 1 and a bit R. So it's a little bit too tight. I'd be worried about getting out there in case we do drive up. But I'm just going to go with sort of that level there. And then if it does push to ADR, should be able to get out. Downside, I've got to go 2R to the downside. I'm actually going to go 2.5. So I'm just going to go down there at the that previous low. Can't quite see it. There's a low there and a low there, which is the low from Tuesday. That's yesterday's low. So looking for a push down. and bounce out of one of those lows. But I mean, the way this is going today, you'd be hard pushed to get there. There's just no volume in the market. Should have identified there's no volume in the market somewhere around here and just gone, screw this, I'm out. But I didn't. Nothing you do with it today. It's just not moving, is it? I miss my Forex funds. So do I. I liked my Forex funds. Fast market execution, cheap pricing. Brilliant. It was just brilliant. Back end was great. Reporting was great. It was all great. Now we know why. All the buttons on your chart are the buttons on your chart part of the Price Action Toolkit? No. No, this is a new EA that's in production at the moment, Position Trading EA. It uses the button logic and code from the Price Action Toolkit, but it's only. I'm actually probably going to get rid of that as well. I'm thinking about whether or not I even need those. It's just so that any manual trades you taken are taken with the EA, basically. So what we need is so that market buy that I took there, yeah, magic number on that market buy is 999. Magic number on the automated trades is 999. So it's just a case of we need a button that when we want to take a manual trade or an aggressive drawdown control position, that the EA knows about it and it makes sure that it moves the orders and it readjusts lot sizing and all that sort of stuff. It's just to make sure that the EA is aware of manual intervention. Can't do it with the with the market reverse alerts EA. It's just too complicated. It's just over-engineered to death, that thing. Anyone been watching Hardest Geezer? Some guy who's been running the length of Africa. Yeah. He's from my hometown. Yeah, he's really good. Ginger guy. Ginger beard. Most of these, if not all Forex gurus, prey on beginner traders. Yeah. Yeah, they do. And you'll notice that I don't, Philip. I'm not. I am from Worthing, yes. Correct. Yeah, basically, I don't. Anybody that comes in here and says, what's a bearish engulfing? Babypips.com. Go away to babypips.com. Come back in 6 months. I'm not interested. Yeah, this is not a beginner strategy, position trading. It should be, and this is exactly how you should be trading. But you need to go through the steps to become profitable. Yeah. And part of it, part of this journey up this step, yeah, is this. And knowing this, yeah. So you've got to basically get to the point where you believe in the Lambo crowd, the ICT crowd. You believe in the guy selling the courses, yeah, because you're incompetent. Not through choice, because it's the same as anybody. When I start any job, when I start anything new, you're incompetent. You don't know what you're doing. You have to start there. You can't jump to a style of trading that makes money without knowing what doesn't make money, because you won't believe this is the best way to do it, because one advert with one guy in front of a blue Porsche or a Lamborghini, I always mention a blue Porsche so you know who I'm talking about, will suck you away from this. You've got to go away before you do this. You've got to have been through this. You've got to then understand what doesn't work and know about it. But you will carry on doing it because you don't believe that there is not the Holy Grail strategy out there. And you will keep looking. And the period of time you look for will last anything from 6 months to 6 years to 10 years. That's not up to me. That's up to you when you stop doing that. When you've been through this, you know everything. You've tried Heikin-Ashi candlesticks. You've tried footprint charts. You've tried stocks. You've tried futures. You've tried Forex. You've tried moving averages. You've tried pivot points. You've tried every oscillator under the sun. You've tried a combination of all of those. You've tried everything. You will always get to a point where you go, I'm not going to use any indicators. I'm going to use pure price action. And you will still not work. It still won't work. You still will not make money. You've got to go to that point. And then you get the point where you go, none of that works. So what do the banks do? What do people that make money actually do? And then you'll start doing it. And this is usually when you'll find me or position trading or any type of strategy that scales in and out of the market. Or you find a course like Anton Creel's that teaches you about fundamentals, about bank movements, how the market moves, which is why ICT is a bit of a crossover, isn't it? This is how the real world works. He's made stuff up that kind of taps into that, but still uses strategies and methodologies that are never going to make money long term. Which is why I think he does so well, because there's a bit of real world in there, but there's also a load of crap. Yeah. And you'll suddenly figure it out. This is me, position trading. If you come here first of all, and I start going, there's a nice 3-bar reversal, push, pause, pull, you won't understand that that is a candlestick pattern. How the hell are you going to get anywhere further than that? You've got to know what candlestick patterns are. You need to have done Elliott wave. If you've done Elliott wave, your market structure will be like, I get market structure. It's Elliott wave. Oh, why did they call it an ABCD? Why don't they just call it higher highs and higher lows? It all makes sense. I get it. Why does it do that though? Well, because the banks push up and then they take profit on the moves and then they add more to it. Oh, what are those lines? Oh, it's where the banks are adding money. Oh, all makes sense. And then you go, right, got it. I'm going to risk 1% on every trade I take. Then you'll blow an account and realize, actually, no, he's right. You do need to risk 0.1% on every trade because you've got no idea where it goes. And then you get there. But the newbies will never be able to do this or this because you can't have a eureka moment unless you've done that. This is why this PDF is on there. You need to understand the journey. You won't believe me until you've gone through the journey. But all the time, if you've read this document at the start, all the time you're going through these courses, buying these indicators, buying these EAs, and getting hit and hit and hit, your account going up and down and up and down, blowing one, up, down, blowing one. Try this, try that, try the other. This will be in the back of your head. And you'll be going, yeah, he's right. But you can't jump to this, I don't believe, which is why I don't focus, I don't market, I don't do anything trying to attract new traders. If you want to go off and gamble on a prop firm because you believe you can get a Lamborghini, off you go. Come back when you realize you can't. And I'll teach you how to trade. But there is nothing to it, is there? I don't come in here with anything clever. I come in and I go, right, I'm going to try a short here. It probably won't work and it will go up and then I'll add another one because I have no idea where price is going. That's the eureka moment. As soon as you realize there is no control over this market and you cannot predict the future, you will stop trying. And then you'll realize, well, if I can't do that, there's no way I can risk 0.5% or 1% on a trade, because if it is the wrong trade, I've either got to take a loss or blow the account. And then you realize the only way to make money is to wait for the market to move in your direction. The only way you can do that is by moving your price. The only way you can do that is the same way as institutions do it, by DCA, dollar cost averaging. Or you try and scalp and flip a coin, and luckily enough, you get a 55% strike rate instead of a 45% strike rate, and you can make money that way by gambling big, which is what people like Tom Hugard do. But 99% of human beings are not wired that way. You can't do it because you will not be able to take that string of 15 losses. I don't know if anybody follows Tom, but he's having a nightmare at the moment. He's had multiple 5-figure losing days. Yeah. People will be flooding away. He sticks at it because he knows the edge is there long term. Same as this. Yeah. I'm looking at this at the moment going, this is just shite. I know it's shite. It does this. It's called stagnation. All the back tests show me this happens. except when you're sitting through it, it really plays on your psyche. You've got to be strong and push through the stagnation, because the end of the year, it will be profitable. But you'll have days and weeks where the market is just not tradable. How do you know? How do I know today is the day it starts its trend? Is today the day it rotates, or is today the day it trends? I don't know. Nobody knows. So you either sit through it and stick with a strategy, or if it's not for you, you turn it off and do something different that is for you. That's all there is, isn't it? When you've been through the mill. But that's what all these guys out there, all these Forex gurus are doing, is they are trying to earn money out of YouTube views or out of some kind of affiliate program, some way, shape or form, to prey on the guys that have no clue, the incompetents. And everybody's got to start as an incompetent. But as long as you know you're an incompetent, yeah. But this is the thing, you never do you? Because they brainwash you into thinking it's easy. It's not. What's my opinion on black swans? I've had one in 15 years. So I don't have an opinion on them, because I've only ever had one. 2 legends out of Worthing, yeah. I don't know him. He's just from Worthing, so. Yeah, so black swans. The only black swan I've ever experienced is the Swiss franc peg removal. So there's nothing you can do with them. Basically, it's just a catastrophic event, isn't it? So you basically just, everybody either loses all their money or goes bankrupt, which is basically losing all your money, isn't it? So it's only ever happened once in the time I've traded, anyway. We've had collapses, 2008 and stuff, but not black swan. COVID, COVID wasn't a black swan. COVID was a collapse and recovery. But as I said to somebody the other week, you had time to react to this. This took 4 or 5 days before you suddenly realized something was wrong. You knew something was wrong, so you dealt with it. The tsunami in Japan, when was that? Can't type, can't spell. 2011. I'm guessing it was in March. March the 11th. There you go, yeah. Yeah, I mean, that... I mean, this is the thing. Like, if you look back there, that's not... ADR at the moment is 113. ADR back then, I would imagine, was probably around about the same. So that move there was 724. So I wouldn't call that a black swan. That is a collapse recovery. Collapses always recover. That's not a black swan. That move took 5 days to unfold. A black swan happens like that. That's it. You're dead. Yeah, it's a shot to the head. You're dead. There's nothing you can do. You can't get your order executed. You can't stop loss trigger. Your broker goes bust. Nothing happens. Yeah, that took 1, 2, 3, 4 days to happen. And 3 days later, you were out. If you'd have held it for a week, you were massively in profit. and it went 7 ADR against you. The pound last year went 7 ADR against me. I went 9% in drawdown. Not a problem. It is a problem, and it's not a good problem. It's not a good thing, but you know, it's that I would say is akin to what we see with the intervention move from Japan. Yeah, so that move there was 563. That move there was 600. That move there was 700. Yeah, that's akin to the tsunami. Yeah, these are BOJ intervention moves, of which we are getting pretty close, if we don't careful, for them doing that again. That is a 500 to 700 ADR move against in favor of the yen. That's interesting. That move was positive yen, wasn't it? You would expect it to be negative yen in a catastrophic event like that, but that was bullish. That's pound New Zealand. What? That's bullish. Look, US dollar came down against the yen, which means everybody bought the yen. Weird. I wasn't around then. Well, I was around, but I obviously wasn't trading the yen. Otherwise, I'd have probably seen it and known about it. Or I was using stop losses and didn't give a crap because I was only looking at 5-minute charts and no idea what's going on the daily. Not of interest, is it? Afternoon, Pot DJ. Morning, even. Well, it's nearly afternoon, isn't it? You're late. Would you use the official market close for identifying gaps? Yeah, I mean, I if it's an index, yes. Yeah. This is the other thing I don't like about Darwin X, all the pre-market crap. Look, the DAX opens at 7 a.m. there, which is why my pre-market lines start there and there. That's the pre-market range as far as I'm concerned. The market closed here. Yep, so we had a gap up situation, which they filled. All this, none of this is real. It's broker data. The market's shut. Yeah, there is no one in the DAX. The lights are off. The computers are turned off. You cannot trade it. Yeah, so this is just crap. With the US indices, it's different because the US run a Globex system. So with the US, this is real price action, algorithmic price action. But as you can see, there's no human beings doing it. Yeah. They're all asleep in America right now. Yeah, this is all being run by Globex, by the bank algorithms on the Globex system. The market opens at 2:30 p.m., 9:30 a.m. US. That's the open. That is the proper time that we start trading. So always use the official times. Your broker will, brokers are brokers. What I was going back to what I was saying earlier about deriv.com. Yeah, they create synthetic indices for you to trade. They don't exist. So who makes up the price on a synthetic index? Whoever invented the synthetic index. Yeah, the DAX is shut until 7 a.m. Who's placing those candlesticks on the chart? The broker. Do you think it's a good idea to trade something that only the broker is in control of? No. You go short, what's he going to do? Well, take his money. Synthetic indexes, yeah. People that trade all these V100s, V200s, V400s, whatever they're called. I don't even know what they're called, but they're not real. Yeah, it's all fake. If you place an order onto something that somebody else is in control, it's like me saying to you, right, everybody, we're going to trade the Lee index. Who wants to go long? Who wants to go short? If 55% of you go long, I'm going to take the thing down because I make money. Yeah. But the affiliates of deriv.com will flog you courses.
that teach you how to manipulate synthetic indexes or trade successful strategies on synthetic indexes. They're selling you a course, so you go and sign up with deriv.com, and every penny you deposit into deriv.com goes into their bank account. Yes, they're regulated, but they're only regulated because they let you trade other stuff. All the synthetic stuff that all these people love to trade. Why do you think they move so beautifully and orderly so that you can see patterns? Because they want to make it as easy as possible for you to look and figure out a strategy. Then you start trading it and it doesn't work. All a con. If you are not in trades and your broker account says 50,000 in it, in the event of a black swan, would that money be safe if your broker went bust? Depends if you're with it depends on the regulator. If you're in the UK and you're trading with an FCA regulated broker, you get £85,000 worth of cover. So if you're regulated with Joe Bloggs in Magnetic Island off the coast of Australia, which has got a population of about 300 people, probably not. It depends on the regulator. If all these, like Robo Forex, for example, is regulated in the Seychelles. There's lots of companies regulated in the Seychelles. There is a financial conduct authority for the Seychelles who do protect those accounts. All accounts in all regulated brokers have to be segregated accounts. So the money is always sitting in another account. Yeah. So that is safe in that respect. Any money that is actively in the market being traded is with the broker. If the broker goes bust, then you lose that money. Or if the broker suspends trading and closes your position out 2,000 pips lower than you asked them to, and you now are in negative on your account, you will owe them that money. But if they're trading in the Seychelles, they have got to set up a legal case to try and get that money back from you over here. Would they bother to do it? Don't know. At the end of the day, it's a difficult question to answer because it's never happened. And I don't know, is the honest answer. But at the end of the day, do you have a choice? It's like all things. It's like people always saying, why do you trade with that? Why don't you trade with this? Why do you trade with that? Doesn't matter, does it? Everybody I trade with is going to charge me a commission, a spread, and a swap. I don't have a choice. If I want the leverage to be able to trade, I need to go outside of FCA regulation. I don't have a choice. Or I could try and trade a strategy that is within FCA regulation, but I can't. If I had enough money, I could. So if I had $1 million in my account, I could use such a small amount of risk that it would make enough money for me to live on. But I don't have $1 million in my account. If I had $1 million in my account, I probably wouldn't put it overseas. But I've been trading very happily with overseas brokers for the best part of a decade. Never had an issue. Because you pick the big ones, yeah? There's a difference between an overseas regulated broker that is established for 15 years, sponsors a football team, and has 100,000 customers, and an overseas regulated broker that started in 2022 that has hardly any customers, and you saw an advert on Forex Factory for them. They are two different entities, yeah? I trade with a broker that when I phone them, there's a call center of 500 people answering calls for hundreds of thousands of customers. The one sitting on Magnetic Island off the coast of Australia, hello, can I help you? Not interested in trading with him. But he may well still be regulated in the same way. But I don't know. They even trade on weekends. Yeah. This is what I mean. If people don't get it. People just don't get it. And I was the same when I started out. I didn't get it. I didn't understand what it was, how it worked. And I was like, oh, I work all week. I want to trade at weekends. What can I trade at weekends? Oh, there isn't anything. Binary options, I can still trade those. Oh, okay, brilliant. Not thinking, how can I trade those? It's shut. Yeah, you can't trade anything at the weekends. We shut, we close. You can trade crypto, but that doesn't exist either, does it? Why is everybody losing money in crypto? Who controls crypto? Who made Bitcoin? No one can answer the question. You're trading something made by a guy that doesn't exist. Mental. What makes it go up and down? No one's answered the question. I've asked it many, many times. I've looked it up on Google. Nobody knows. It's volume of buyers and sellers. We know this. But who? Banks and institutions move this. Banks and institutions move the stock market. Everything in here is regulated. Crypto is unregulated, under the radar, and moved by people. Who? Russian mafia? I've no idea. No one can tell me. It's not the banks. It's not large institutions because they're not stupid enough to trade something they cannot manipulate. Yeah? If the banks want to make money on the DAX today, they'll buy a load of stock and the DAX will go up. Then they'll get out of the stock at a higher price and make a load of money and give it to their shareholders. Yep. They're not going to buy a load of Bitcoin because they've no idea who they're buying from and they've no idea who's on the other side of that transaction, possibly able to push it down. Don't trade stuff you don't understand. You're just flipping a coin and gambling, aren't you? It's pointless. Which is why I don't trade crypto, because I just don't get it. No one can answer the question. Banks and institutions have looked into starting their own currencies, and we're talking about starting our own kind of electronic currencies in all sorts of countries. It's not getting very far because everyone's going, well, what's wrong with what we got? Yeah. We don't use real money anymore. Everything's electronic transactions. Why do we need another currency within our currency to do electronic transactions? We've got one. It's called the pound. I don't have any of them in paper or coin format. I go into a bank and I press a card onto a terminal and my pounds go into someone else's account. What's the point in having another currency that does that? One that's under the radar so that you can't see it anymore, taking money out of the government and tax. That's the only point, isn't it? Who uses that? Criminals. Who do you think runs crypto? I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I just find it impossible. I don't believe in God. Why? No one's proved it. I don't believe in a lot of stuff because no one's proved it. Yeah, you've got to be able to, for me, as a logical person, tangibly touch and have something proved to you to understand it. I'm a scientific guy. No one can tell me how anything works. So therefore, I'm not going to try and trade something that has no tangible mechanism to make it go up and down, apart from an unknown quantity manipulating it in some way, shape, or form. How do we know the whole thing, that Bitcoin rally, was not one man in Russia, one of the oligarchs? And all he's done is he's quadrupled his trillions. And then he sold the whole lot at the top. How do we know? No one can tell me yes or no to that question. Therefore, I can't trade it. I can, however, contact my colleagues in central banks, not in central banks, but in big banks, and ask them how this thing works. And they're quite open and honest with it because they all do it the same way. Yeah. You give us your earnings every month. We use that money to invest into markets and drive them up and down, and we pay you back a percentage of what we make on it. We have trillions and trillions of dollars that we can use to push things up and down, which we do on a regular basis, called market makers, because other people need the transactions done. So we take the other sides of them, which means that we make the market move down and up. Elon Musk running Bitcoin. Could be, couldn't it? Yeah. He started taking Bitcoin for Tesla and then he stopped. Why? No one can tell me, but Elon knows. What do you think Elon did? Right? Before he announced that. Yeah. And this is the thing that I get. You know, money makes money in this industry. We're in the finance industry. Money makes money, right? If you haven't got money, it's very hard to make money. Elon sitting there goes, the people are buying this crap, but why are they buying it? Who are they buying it from? Don't know. So basically they just buy stuff because they think it's going to go up. Right. Okay. Right. Go and buy 25 million Bitcoin for me. Right. Okay. So I can make it move. Okay. Go and announce that Tesla are now taking Bitcoin. Right. Sell all my Bitcoin. Right. Brilliant. So I had 25 million. Now I've got 125 million. Brilliant. Money makes money. Elon can move Bitcoin. He did. And then he said, nah, we're not going to take it anymore. He got out the top. I'd be very, very, very surprised if that wasn't what happened. No one can tell me. So do you believe in the quantum effect, being in two places at once? No idea. Never looked into that. Unless you can prove it to me, Virginia, no. I believe Ant-Man has been to the quantum realm because I saw it on the telly. Other than that, no. I have no idea. Do you believe in aliens? It's one of those questions, isn't it? At the moment, I don't believe in aliens because I haven't seen one. I believe in the possibility of them because the odds of Goldilocks planets existing, we know is factual, and the size of the universe extrapolated out from the amount of Goldilocks planets we know exist would be in the millions. So therefore, the chances of the oxygen and chemical reactions that caused life on Earth to begin, just by sheer chance of flipping a coin, highly likely happened in those other millions of Goldilocks planets that are in the known universe that we can see. So therefore, I do believe aliens exist. I don't necessarily believe that they're small green men with big pointy ears that can shoot ray guns, but there is probably another humanoid style race out there just through sheer chance of a piece of water landing on a piece of carbon on another part of the Big Bang that happened. It's just logic, isn't it? Yeah. We have found other planets that are habitable because they orbit a distance around the sun that creates an atmosphere which has got breathable oxygen in it. This is how we started. Yeah. So that is likely, but no one's proved it. How about crop circles? Farmers. I've had proof that farmers have done it. They've said they've done crop circles. Farmers have done it. They've said, haha, we did a crop circle. But the farmer that did the first crop circle that they found and couldn't explain, he didn't admit to it. So therefore everyone went, aliens! Who knows? But unless it's proven, it doesn't exist as far as I'm concerned. I have to have proof of stuff. Yeah. I have to see a reasonable, it's just logic, isn't it? You have to see a reasonable reason for something to happen over and over again, or you just need something, don't you? There is nothing otherworldly that I could possibly think of apart from aliens. At some point we will develop warp drive, and at some point we will be able to go further than we've gone before, and at some point the Vulcans will detect our warp signatures and come and say hello, but probably not in my lifetime. Star Trek. Right, I'm going to leave it there because I'm just waffling about rubbish because this thing's not moving. So we're stuck. So DAX, I'm going for 3R up, 2.5 down. FTSE, I can't believe we're going to do it. But I'm going to move FTSE down just within reach, 4R. And 3R to the downside, which is an obvious one. So, breaking to the downside is obvious. Breaking to the downside is obvious. Breaking to the upside is too far. 125 ADR on both, and there's absolutely no volume in the market. So we're not going to get there. There's no news to drive it there. So 130, we've got US news. That may well drive the US market, which might give this just enough kick to hit one of those targets. But there's nothing moving, so it's a double hedge, unfortunately, today, and there's nothing you can do about it because we're dead. W. Bush? What's that? Jade, what? What did Bush? Does Bush said something about something? Not sure I want to believe anything Bush said either. But you know, aliens. Alien? What? Don't know. Did he say something about the existence of aliens? But this, you know, people can say what they like. I can tell you that the sky is red. Yeah. And you'll believe me if you live in a box and have never been outside. But as soon as you go outside, you look up and you go, no, it's not. He can tell me that there's aliens in Area 51. But until they open up Area 51 and go, there you go, see? It's just hearsay, isn't it? But scientific logic dictates that the chances of alien life, alien being not of this particular planet, must exist because of the sheer number of planets that match ours. That's the only thing. But then again, who says that all life has to breathe oxygen? All life we know of as carbon beings requires oxygen. Yeah, in some shape or form, whether it be in the water or out of the water. We can't exist in space because there isn't any. But does that mean that all life evolved that has to breathe oxygen? We don't know, do we? Because we can't go far enough to find out. And who's to say that they could go far enough to find out? The ones on the planets right at the start of the Big Bang are 14 billion years ahead of us. 13.4 billion or whatever it is. So they've had a little bit longer to develop warp drive, but doesn't mean they can make it go that far. Who knows? It's a good debate. Could go on forever, couldn't it? Logic dictates that nothing plus no one could have created anything. Nothing plus no one could have created anything. Therefore, there must have been a first cause creator. Yes. A Big Bang. Who knows? I'm not going to get into religious debates, but you know, everybody believes what they believe. I don't care. I have no problem with anybody believing anything. I'm just a scientific, logical person. Therefore, I require proof of stuff. Unlogical people don't. There's nothing wrong with being unlogical either, at all. I love the way when you do American, they call us alien. When you go to America, they call us aliens. Yeah, I know, it's bizarre, isn't it? Illegal aliens. Alien to America. That's bizarre, isn't it? The Mexicans are illegal aliens, aren't they? Like, oh. I think all Americans are aliens. I think Men in Black might have got it right. I think living in America right now, there are a load of aliens in human skin that are basically just living among us, wandering around going, this lot are never going to get warp drive. All they ever do is shoot missiles at each other. There is no planet B at the moment. Need to look after this one. A conversation for when you're arseholed, yeah. I've done that before. Been down the pub and started the, do you reckon there's life on other planets conversation? Oh my God, it goes on all night. It's a really good one. Anyway, right, I'm going to leave it there because I've got to go off and do some stuff. Mainly babysit this and realise that, oh, that's going to close out in a minute, the Swiss yen. Fingers crossed. Single profit target, 265. When that gets to 265, that should close. By the way, for those of you who are interested, there's 3 targeting systems I've built into this. Single profit target, which is where you get one hit out. So quick in, out, done. I.e. the trade we enter and works. There is a position profit target, i.e. we get into a trade, it goes against us, we get into another one, and it works. There is a total profit target, i.e. we get into a trade that starts to work, but then fails, so we get into a trade in the opposite direction, hedge, and then we will scale into one or both of those, that is a total profit target. So there's 3 exit mechanisms, and you can set 3 individual targets. So in, out, fast, in, out, normal, a position trade, and then holy crap, this thing's all over the place. We've got no idea what's going on. If we can possibly squeeze X out of it, brilliant. So I personally will be using this as a kind of hedge target. So if we get into stuff and it just is a mess, get me out at a kind of a 0.1% break even, whatever. Just get me out. I don't want it. Normal position trades, that's the one that is the key one for me. So a normal position trade is 0.5%. If I can get a quick in and out scalp on anything with 0.25%, I'll have it. So I've set it up in that way, and you can use obviously any of them or combination of them or none of them and just manually do everything. Flexibility, that's what I'm after. I just want it to be able to just get me in, scale into positions, look after me. And if I'm asleep and it drives up by 2 ADR for some reason, get me out. If I've forgotten to set a TP, it's that, you know, it's babysitter. I should call it, that's it. I should call it the babysitter EA, shouldn't I? That'll confuse people. Right, leave it there. Anything you need, let me know. I'll be in Telegram. Not in Telegram, obviously. I'm around. I'm going to work on more coding for this morning, and be back 2:20 this afternoon. Fingers crossed on the hedges. The way the market's going at the moment, I think I'm not holding up much hope, but that way. Yeah, and everything's sideways pretty much everywhere else. So it's just a case of waiting for things to cook at the minute. Euro US dollar is getting close as well. Oh, it's that well, we looked at that one earlier, didn't we? I mean, from an ADR reversal, 0.25% isn't too bad to bank, but I'm going to take a chance on the news today being negative for the US. We've had a good run of good positive news for the US. So I'm banking on something going a little bit wrong, hopefully, but we'll see. All right, so I'll be back this afternoon. We'll have a look at what the unemployment claims have done. Be aware of that at 1:30 this afternoon. If you've got any US on that you want to bank it. Otherwise, you may lose it. And we'll see how we do on the indices this afternoon. All right, so have a good morning. Anything you need, let me know. Otherwise, I'll see you next time.